This episode of Beauty and the Surgeon podcast is brought to you by Let's Get Checked. Let's Get Checked is an online company dedicated to making professional health testing easy and accessible. Let's Get Checked offers fast, affordable, completely confidential at-home health tests from a range of tests from STDs, male and female hormones, and even COVID-19. Listeners of our podcast who are new to Let's Get Checked get 20% off by using our URL, trylgc.com/beauty, and be sure to use the code BEAUTY20 at checkout. That's trylgc.com, trylgc.com/beauty, BEAUTY, and be sure to use the code BEAUTY20, BEAUTY20 at checkout. Do it. Getting tested is important. It's the responsible thing to do, and you know how important I think it is to make sure you understand your labs. Welcome, everyone, to Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I'm joined today, as always, by my amazing co-host, Dr. Jason Martin.
He's Amy, you're amazing.
Board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon. You're amazing.
You're amazing sauce.
I'm used to doing my spiel in one go.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you are listening to this podcast, it is our favorite podcast episode of the year, or at least it is always mine, and it's our top five.
It's all three.
It's our top five, and I've been looking forward to this all week. So if you are watching...
And we've established before that Amy had the Google documents ready like 5 months ago.
Right. I've been planning this since January 1st of 2022.
Might have been Monday or Tuesday of this week.
It was the night before.
It was the night before last that I sent everything to Nils.
So if you are listening to this podcast, I highly recommend watching it because we are going to be playing the clips of all of these episodes. And you can find that on our YouTube channel at Jason Martin MD. You can also find all of our social media handles in the box below.
Right here.
At Jason Martin MD and at Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. So you know what? I always wish that someone would send me their top moment of the year. So if you have a top moment.
Oh, that's good.
We
should do that next year.
Well, people would have to send them to us.
So we can have Nils's picks, Amy's picks, my picks, and listener picks.
Listener picks. Yeah, I mean, across the year, if you're hearing this now, it is the 15th of December of 2022.
Almost Christmas.
I highly recommend subscribing so that you will be notified when we release new episodes because we release twice a month on the 1st and the 15th.
You got to like it too.
And then you will be able to send us your favorite clips.
Yep.
So if anyone does send me your favorite clips, I say there's a high likelihood that you will be featured on our top 5 moments of 2023.
You will be famous.
Yes. Famous to us. So without further ado, Dr. Martin, I say we just jump right into this episode because I am so excited to find out what your moments are.
Okay, do we coin flip who goes first? Do we?
It goes Amy, you.
Okay.
That's the order.
We're going age before beauty.
Wait.
No, that's
like, even on the jokes, you're dyslexic. Even on the
We're
jokes.
Going A before surgeon.
A before J.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, A before J.
All
right. So this is my number 5 clip of 2022.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to us for people to reach out. Even Red Rum. I like Red Rum's question.
Mm-hmm.
I actually would go grab a coffee with Red Rum.
I'm just going to leave that there.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. You have not ever had to internet date. That's why you say that.
Catfish.
Yeah. Welcome to the world of chaos online. Like, you don't trust a stranger. That is a stranger.
He's a listener. He's a listener. He's a listener. Red Rum's a listener.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
He's not a stranger.
You would never let you loose on a dating app.
Who was the guy that was asking that really complicated question
Dave.
about?
I think that was Dave.
Right? I'm convinced that guy's a medical student.
He wrote back that he is not a medical student.
I still don't believe Dave.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, that was a good one. And I know now to make sure that I don't ever let you get on an app where you're going to meet people. Oh, they seem totally fine online.
Well, apparently I can't answer the phones. I can't get on apps.
They look so nice.
I feel like I'm just, banished to my room.
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. We hope to hear us here next time.
Hear you here.
I still remember, just having this thought in my mind of oh my gosh, you would meet a stranger.
I mean, I don't do anything. There's no way in hell I'm getting a coffee with Red Rum.
But I mean, we appreciate Red Rum's comments.
Oh yeah, we do. Thanks.
And
Dave's.
Dave's.
Dave, especially Dave.
One thing I did realize listening to many episodes, somewhat in a row, was that we talk about Dave a lot.
Yeah, Dave's probably like, you need to get over me.
Right, let it go.
It's not really Dave as the listener. It's more the idea of Dave, the guy who writes in commenting on our procedures.
The potential. He went to the University of YouTube Medicine, right?
Yeah, he did.
We did find that out.
He did.
Yeah.
He's famous.
He's YouTube famous.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like Dr. Oz.
Yeah. So I love that clip. I think earlier in the episode we had talked about you not answering the phones for some reason, but yeah, definitely don't want to let you loose on an
Yeah,
online
that was very
dating app.
good. That was like, I thought about choosing that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
That was at the very end.
It's so funny to see the choices because we definitely are all drawn to the kind of similar types of things. Nils always edits better than us, but you get the idea.
Yeah, we had one year, maybe 2018, where Dr. Ryan and I had picked the exact same clip, so Nils made it the joint number one.
Yeah.
But that was the only time that's happened. The rest of the time, I'm always shocked because to me, I picked the best 5 moments ever.
It's a little bit annoying because we've definitely gotten better at podcasting and better at this. And so before we would just have like really kind of gaffes, like real bad. And now they're like kind of melodic. You know, you got to pick the clip that you like as opposed to the absolute event.
Yeah.
Besides your inability to say words. That is the one exclusion to all this.
That goes through all. I think last year I feel like my clips were kind of serious. Like I feel like I picked the really like techie ones where we were really breaking something down. And this year I kept it more fun.
Yeah, me too. I always do that anyways.
All right. Well, let's get on to your number. Do you need to make some caveats before we play yours?
Yeah, I mean, the reality of it is I did it exactly the way I wanted to do it and not per the rules.
Okay.
So I just kind of picked episodes that I liked. Some of them were not very, popular, and pick clips from the episodes that I liked. So absolutely the opposite of what the rules were for this thing. But I am a plastic surgeon that's board certified. So the rules do not apply to me.
You're the captain of the ship?
Yeah, I'm the captain of the ship. Anyways, but they're great episodes, and most of them are me laughing at you. So that's pretty much my entire selection.
Okay.
So our first episode's from Golden Rules. I want to say that our first selection is from Golden Rules. This episode was so good. The Golden Rules of Plastic Surgery. The derivation of this episode is Amy gets the Trade magazine. She was looking in there for something else, and she goes, "This is pretty good." It was a plastic surgeon's experience as a plastic surgeon, talking about the Golden Rules per her training and per her being a plastic surgeon. So you should definitely watch that episode. It's highly viewed.
Yeah, it's a really good one. All right, here we go. Yeah, that's my point. You have
If you're
to be
board
able
certified.
to evaluate yourself at some point too and get yourself back up. Like you may not have people around you to bolster you up and get you back in the OR.
Well, I got you.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you definitely tell me when things aren't right. So
Well, hey,
my next hire is going to be...
the ship is sinking.
It's going to be a sycophant, Oh, Dr. Martin, you're so great. Oh, don't worry about that. That wasn't your fault. That was everyone else's fault.
Yeah, let me know how that goes. All right.
Am I daydreaming?
No, I just don't think that is going to actually work in the end.
It's not going to work.
Like this boat is not sinking. That water is totally fine. Water is great. Water's necessary.
That's where we are in this country now, politically speaking.
Yes.
Everyone believes the ship's not sinking.
And
okay.
See how well that's working.
Okay.
That's coming up.
All right.
Yeah.
How many of these do we have?
16. Yeah, that's why I said we can't talk too much.
We got to go fast.
Yeah. So, number 4.
My answers are going to be 3 words.
I feel like there is a meme somewhere that is saying, I don't believe you.
Okay. Okay. It's
like Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
Nils will find it. Ron Burgundy. I don't believe you. That's a lie or something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
And sometimes it is something that is not right, but it's not up to us. Like if a relationship's weird between people or something that's like, wow, there's something not right there, but we just do surgery and get out.
Right.
We don't insert ourselves into
We definitely
lives.
don't fix relationships.
No.
We should put that on our website.
Yeah, this is not couples therapy.
Yeah. Your breast augmentation will not make your marriage better.
Maybe that's number 17. Okay. Plastic surgery is not therapy.
We should have our 16. I mean, she's obviously the editor of the major magazine. It's all going to be very professional. We should have our 16.
Well, maybe that'll be a follow-up episode. It is tempting to believe that you are the one who will save the day. Ego is a powerful thing.
Yeah, it's not just ego. So people go into medicine are usually middle-class people, and no matter what they tell you, they can tell you this whole story about they wanted to save the world. It's all BS. Basically, they came from middle-class families, and they wanted a job that was secure that they could actually help people at the same time, right? So anybody who grew up in a normal middle-class family knows, wow, that person's a doctor. I remember my dad saying that. We were building a house for Dr. Arena, the cardiologist, and I remember thinking to myself, he has brick all the way around his house. This guy is so rich. It's so funny.
So I think this is something that everybody can understand, everybody's beautiful. And I think that goes back to the perfection comment too. Perfect may not be what you think it is. We talked about this on our podcast several years ago when we talked about beauty and the whole Nautilus.
I can't believe you're not singing
You Are Beautiful.
And we did that.
No
Which episode was that? That was in our end of the year top 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, words can't bring you down.
Words cannot bring you down
You are beautiful in every single way.
in every single way.
No matter what they
Christina
say.
Aguilera.
Yes. Yeah. So there's beauty in the the irregularities of a body. You got one wonky nipple, like great, like make that your thing.
Right. That's probably a bad example, but
Like make people dodge for it.
no.
When you're in that OR, you are the manager. And that's not for everybody.
And you can't have a bad day. You can't come in and say you didn't sleep last night. You can't come in and say your wife was or your husband was yelling at you.
Throw a little temper
I was
tantrum.
joking today. My dog, my little puppy, was it just poops right in front of me and looks straight at me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know what, dude? Yeah, I'm gonna do what I want. And I can't take that into the OR.
Nope.
No,
Well, that's not additive to surgery.
no,
Nope.
that's not helping the patient.
Nope. Not helping
So I told him,
anybody.
I said, today we're not going to talk about Yeti poop, which is my dog, and that's
And we'll all have a good time.
we'll have a good time.
What's funny is there was a clip from that episode that I almost picked, but it was the clip of me like lean back with the
Oh yeah,
the
no, when we came out of
yes.
break, yeah.
That was because that magazine is huge.
Oh, it's huge.
It's so big. Yeah. Like I had
Yeah.
it folded in half. And at one point I had to like go from page 5 to like page 16 and like
It's so expressive with your body, like the part where you like hit me like this, and then you're dodging the funny nipple,
the wonky nipple.
like it's coming at you.
I do physical comedy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that really was such a great episode. And
That's one of my favorites. Actually, it may be my favorite episode of the year.
yeah, even if you are not interested in plastic surgery, I think it's good to listen to just to kind of understand more of what an ethical surgeon kind of thinks about and does. We talk about life and death and beauty and many, many things in that episode.
Yeah, and a lot of things that we personally deal with all the time, like ego and ethics and doing the right thing and believing in your gut and not listening to the outside voices, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that was such a good episode. It was really, really good. All right.
So basically, I just picked clips that I thought you made me laugh. Just so you know. And then one for my dad. Yeah.
They were really good.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So let's get on to number 4.
Yeah.
We got my number 4. Dr. Martin, how you doing?
I'm just waiting for the birthday of our country.
It's
Amy.
very soon.
Very
as we were
soon.
just discussing, it's July 1st when you were hearing this. So
Yes.
yeah, 4th of July is coming. Oh my gosh. So I was at a sport game,
Yep.
a sports event, a sport game. I was at a sport game recently. And like I videotaped the national anthem because it's always amazing. And like, it was just so good. And a friend of mine from the UK actually commented on it. And like, she heard it somewhere, I think like Disneyland, like the national anthem when she was visiting the United States and was like so moved. She's like, I was almost moved to tears. Like it is such a powerful song. So
It
like,
is kind of powerful.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Like if I'm ever having a bad day, like I seriously like will listen to the national anthem.
Well, it's funny because you don't really think about national anthems until you watch the Olympics and you hear the other ones. They all suck. So it's just like, I'm sorry.
Well, or if you go to a lot of lacrosse or hockey games, you hear "Oh
Right.
Canada" a lot.
Well, Canada's good. Actually, that's not true. I actually like that one. And
I fall on ground for thee or something.
Right.
Oh Canada.
And obviously, I'm a little bit biased after growing up in this country, but definitely we got a good national
Oh
anthem.
my gosh, well, it's just like chills. Like
Yeah.
when the rockets red
got-
glare,
it's
it's like, yes,
It's got a lot of meaning behind
the
it.
bombs bursting in air. Like, and it's just such a powerful thing. Like, hey, yeah, proof through the night that our flag was still there.
America.
Like, I love it. So
Yeah.
yes, happy birthday, America. So that was the actual Nils put the audio that I sent him of
That was
actually
awesome.
recording that at the sport game.
Yeah, that kind of gave me chills listening to that.
Right, it is. And I mean, it's so cool. So the Mammoth, I mean, we're in Colorado, and the Colorado Mammoth is an indoor lacrosse league, the National Lacrosse League, and they have a really extremely loyal following here in Denver.
Shout out.
I actually had season tickets when they first came to Denver back in 2001. I mean, it's really fun. Like they call it the Loud House for a reason. Like it's crazy to go to lacrosse games in other places, which I have done, and it's like really quiet. It's almost like a hockey game. I'm like, wow, this is uncomfortable because at the Mammoth game, like there's people with like cowbells and like screaming. So when they play the national anthem, they literally have these fireworks going off inside the arena, indoor arena. It is so smoky. There's a bunch of Harleys on the field that all come out. So it's like 10 guys on Harleys come
That
out.
is America.
Yes, with flags, with the what I call the funky bunch, which I don't know what their real name is, which is the cheerleaders. They're the rowdy bunch, but I call them the funky bunch. So
Yeah.
guys on Harleys with cheerleaders on the back, fireworks going off, like everyone in the
It's
stadium
perfect.
is singing
This is
along.
Perfect.
It's
They're
awesome.
great.
It's
Mammoth
so
games
good.
are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all, the motorcycles all then ride off and, Wooly comes out and is running and the
Yeah.
smoke is clearing. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So, but see, that was number 4 because it was the 4th of July.
It is so funny because I think Nils is kind of the same way, but you and I are definitely patriotic. You know, like those are the things that kind of get to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I think
service, armed forces, like the country, history, that kind of stuff. It kind of weighs on me a little bit.
Well, I've got to split mine up between Canada, America, and Norway. So
Yeah.
it's a little more spread thin.
Yeah, whatever.
No, Nils is
You're not true American.
he spreads his patriarch or his political
Yeah.
affiliations. Yeah. Oh, I do love the national anthem. Like it really does. I mean, if I'm having a really terrible day, like it just makes you feel better.
So it makes me feel good because I actually did watch all the episodes and I actually loved that clip too.
That was a really
So
good
you're doing
one.
really good.
Okay.
So by the way, I just want to admit, like I like your one clip versus my 12 clips, but I'm still going to go with what I'm doing. Okay.
Well, it's too late now.
No, hold on real quick. Hold on real
Okay.
quick. So the next thing, this is an episode. It wasn't like a super popular episode, but I really enjoyed it because it was for us. We were like, I don't know if could be worthwhile or not, but I really enjoyed doing the episode with you, which is Botox.
Oh yeah, the Botox episode. That was actually your suggestion. We should do an episode of Botox, and I was like, can we
Right,
talk
but it
about-
was actually very enjoyable.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's hear it. So without further ado, let's start off like we do all of our kind of procedural podcasts where we talk about the statistics. And these statistics come from the 2020 Plastic Surgery Statistics Report from the American
Can you say
Society
that quickly, please?
of Plastic Surgeons. Statistics Report. Plastic Surgery Statistics. It's not easy.
It's hard.
Like a lot of the German cultures is where you saw it, that the king had actually forbidden the use of blood sausage. And there were some
So blood
descriptions-
sausage actually has blood in it?
It has blood in it. Yep.
God. Like even to this day?
Even to this day.
Oh, that's
yeah.
so gross.
Yeah. Blood sausage contains blood. That's why a lot of cultures won't eat it, like ones who don't approve of like consuming, those types of products.
Right.
So there was not they didn't understand why, right? But then there was no real documented symptomology of this botulism infection until this, I love this, German poet and medical officer, because it was 1817 and you could be both, a poet and a medical officer. Medical officer too, like what does that entail? Wasn't until 1869 that a German physician, John Mueller, much easier to pronounce, coined the term botulism from botulus, which was the Latin for sausage, where many of our things
So
in medical come
interesting.
from. Yeah, so he realized that, all right, so this is why we call it botulism.
This is so funny.
Yeah, because the guy before him, Justinius, knew that it came from the sausage, but he thought it was the
So
fat.
basically what kills these people is sausageism.
Sausage poisoning.
It's sausageism.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting, though, because so much in medicine comes from Latin. But like to have it come from the Latin for sausage.
Sausage. I wonder, like all these terms we use, I bet there's a lot of other stories like that.
Oh, there
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yes. And we're back. Over the break, I was thinking Ham has taken down a lot of people. I mean,
Oh,
apparently
yeah.
this, right? Who was it? Mama Cass?
I feel
Ham sandwich?
like a lot of people
Yeah.
have died from ham.
Yeah. So watch out. Like just avoid pork products.
So when Botox gets to that area, and it's striated muscle too, by the way, the muscle that we control with our brain. We have two types of muscle, striated and smooth muscle, right, Amy?
And cardiac. There's actually 3. Cardiac is a subset of.
You and your anatomy background is so annoying. I'm the doctor.
Yep.
Okay.
And you are correct. There are 2 types of muscle, and there's also a 3rd.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
doctor.
That's how we run our
Yes.
office.
You're absolutely correct.
Okay.
We talked about the first 2, lazy eye or cross-eyed and blepharospasm. Blepharospasm. I always want to throw an extra L in there.
Yeah. Blephlero.
Blepharospasm.
Yeah.
Blepharospasm. Spasm. I just can't. Spasm is not a word.
It's just embarrassing.
Splasm.
We've been doing this for a long time, and you can't say the medical words.
Spasm.
There's something called nutcracker esophagus. I remember that from. Yeah.
Closes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that from general surgery. You don't forget any of these things. Like, and where do I use this? Like,
It's still in there.
I know.
You're
but,
using
like,
it right
just
now.
feels like, I wish
Yeah.
I need to apply the same thing to cryptocurrency or something that's going to benefit me moving forward.
No one wants to know about your nutcracker esophagus.
You can't go to a party and start talking about a nutcracker esophagus. Anyways, it also works in the crow's feet area. It's an amazing use in this area. There's some muscle there called the orbicularis oculi muscle. It's a circular muscle that goes around your eye, and that's what causes the crow's feet. My crow's feet are terrible. Amy has no crow's feet,
Oh, I got lots.
and it's annoying, okay? I've worked with her for 10 years, and the woman has not developed any
10?
crow's feet. 12.
15.
15 years. So it works really, really well on the crow's feet area. And also...
I would actually disagree with that. I
Okay,
would say it works.
I'm going to say the caveat. I know where you're going with this. We've worked through that. I know where you're going. It works well when you're not talking.
Yeah, without animation.
Without animation. But if you smile, and I will do this, everyone watch the YouTube channel and go like this, the other muscles get activated. Which ones get activated, Amy?
Primarily, they're elevators in the cheek that are pushing your cheek up.
That's zygomaticus major and minor.
Like this.
Yeah, you need to write that down and use that in a normal conversation.
They're like a little piece, like they're little like peace sign muscles that are pushing.
Start commenting on
up.
people's zygomaticuses. How do you zygomatici?
Zygomati.
Remember, it's super diluted, so it's not even 10 to the negative 9th. It's 10 to the negative 11th. And only Nils' dad could figure out what that even means.
I was really hoping you were going to bring like a teaspoonful of...
You can't even, like, that's the problem with the human brain. We don't even understand what the hell I just said. I don't even understand it. I'm relatively smart, and I looked at it.
Well, we can't see it with... I mean, that would be, you can't see that with the human eye.
Yeah. Think about it. If you go to an office that's Grouponing and everything's the lowest number, do you think that they're mixing that stuff? I mean, seriously, right? They are all about making that bottom dollar, and every little half a unit counts. Whereas you go to an office like ours, you're going to pay more, but I'm not looking at the vial to see how much I'm making. I'm looking at your face, deciding a treatment plan. I actually talked to you about your past medical history. Amy talks to you about post-injection care. We sign a consent. How do you say that word?
Consent.
Did I just say that like I'm from Kentucky?
That one I know. Consent.
Consent. Yeah.
Like that one I know.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Consent.
Consent. You know, the worst thing with Botox, like you were talking about, like Botox is pricey even for us to purchase. And there are times when, like, I will say to you, like, this is primed, meaning that there is literally Botox right to the tip of that needle.
Yeah.
And you'll grab it, like squeeze it and like flick the top, and I'll be like,
I know.
like there's just like units flying through
It's
the air.
liquid gold.
Yeah.
It is very funny, the cryptocurrency joke, now that it's totally crashed.
Yeah. So maybe you were smart.
Maybe my nutcracker esophagus information, I'm coming out on top.
Right. That is the one other thing that I found in kind of watching a lot of clips of the podcast is that we had some themes. We talked about Dave a lot, which we've brought up. We also talked about Brazil nuts.
Yeah.
If you're... those who know will know. If you know, you know. The nutcracker thing, I'm like, we talk about nuts a lot for a podcast
like
about plastic surgery.
Fascination. Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
That was a really good episode.
It was a really good
It was just fun because it was kind of in some ways
informative. I mean, everybody gets Botox.
Yeah, I thought it was very informative, but Amy and I approached it just like, this might as well just do this kind of. It's like approaching this episode,
Talk
and
about
it's
the
fun.
rhesus monkeys.
You're relaxed. You're having fun. This is like Amy and I's normal routine during the day.
Splasm. I'm going to bring that into the dictionary.
It took every part of me not to make fun of her about spasms, okay, and say inappropriate things. But that was good. All right, what's the next one?
Next one we have is number 3. They're getting good. So here's my number 3. Welcome everyone to Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I'm joined today, as always, by Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon.
And I'm a man.
Yes, you are. That matters. They don't know the title of this episode yet, so that might not make sense. You're just reaffirming yourself as a man. Indeed, you are.
Just want everyone to know that I'm a man.
Yes.
I can list my pronouns. I can do whatever we need to do.
There you
here.
go. It's very...
I let the cat out of the bag.
Very masculine, Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified...
I don't know about that. I'd like to be more masculine, but I'm not.
Plastic and reconstructive surgeon. I actually once had a patient tell me that, like, and this was a patient who was like, had a little bit of a crush on you, and I've never told you this because I would never. Now I'm going to tell everybody that they thought you were so alpha, and I was like, yeah, but you are.
I wish I was more alpha. I can tell you that. It would make my life a lot easier.
But you are, though. And
I don't know.
That's just part of the... I mean, we've talked before on episodes where,
Well, I mean, okay, I'm more alpha than not.
You're more alpha to a patient than you are to like someone else.
Yeah, to regular people, I'm not at all. But like, I know some very alpha kind of people, male or female, it doesn't matter. And man, it's just interesting to see them work.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it.
It is very interesting. It's like, wow, this person's going to tell everyone what they think. And then they're going to do that.
Well, but see, that's
it's not even a discussion, That's not my MO.
It's the doing part, though, that makes somebody alpha.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just being bossy. Like, being bossy can be very
but
beta.
It's the second part.
All right, well, so we'll just start this one more time with the very alpha Dr. Jason
Very
Martin.
alpha.
He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon.
Representing.
Dr. Martin, how you doing?
Good. I'm doing pretty good. I love it. So first off, I love the beard for me.
Yeah, you were looking scruffy.
Yeah, and you got the Sally Jesse glasses on.
I was wearing my Sally Jesse Raphael hot pink glasses. Yep. The funny part about that, and when I sent mine to Nils, I sent him the episode name and number, and then I kind of titled my clip. And I think I titled this one like Dr. Martin is Alpha. It was just so funny. Like, I loved that clip. And we were talking about facelifts for men, which was also a really awesome episode.
Well, it is funny because I was talking to some of the pre-op nurses, and they're like, "Oh my God, you must be a handful at home," And I'm really not. So I guess I have an alpha part of my life, and then I have my home life.
Oh, but I would say that you are extremely alpha in your home life, though. That's why. I mean, like,
I guess
that keeps the ship going.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, that was my point in that episode.
I don't know. I guess my point of alpha is I always think of what's the HBO show Succession?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that main character, the dad who has the heart attack.
Yes.
Like, I'm not that guy.
Yeah. Well,
That's
that's
me.
alpha and evil as well.
Okay, is that what it is?
Right.
A little evil sprinkled in there. Yeah.
See, I think of alpha. I think of like Ari from Entourage. Like
Yeah.
Ari was alpha.
Yeah.
Like, but he was also like a dad and like family man and like loved his wife, like
Yeah.
you can be all those things. Like,
Yeah.
Nils brought up, it's not like an evil or a maniacal or just being bossy.
Yeah,
like
maybe
that to
it's-
me is very weak.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird now.
Yeah. People that are bossy or mean, that's not alpha. That's,
I'm not sure why I declared that I was a man at the beginning of the episode.
I don't know either. Yeah.
I was trying to figure that part out.
Yeah, it was good though. Whatever it was.
As you can see, we sit down and just do these off the cuff.
Like we do just sit here and talk.
There was no pre-planning on that.
Yes. All right. Well, let's hear about your number 3 before I play it.
Oh yeah, hold on real quick. I got to check this out. All right, so my number 3 is from our research episode 5.0, which made me laugh because we've had 5 episodes
Yes.
of research.
We like research.
And I think 5 people listen to them, but like it's like literally our favorite episode.
I know
to do.
people don't listen to them, but I
Yeah.
think I said not on the 5.0, maybe the one before that if people don't like it, we're still going to keep doing them
We're going to
because
keep
we
doing it
like
because we enjoy doing it.
We do.
And goddamn it, this is our podcast.
Occasionally we talk about things we like.
All right, let's take a look.
Oh, that's it? Okay, that was
Yeah.
the whole intro. Okay. I mean, occasionally we say funny things or do funny things, and
Yeah.
I don't know what your research is about, so it might be funny research.
Well, it's funny to us, and definitely Nils laughs. So hopefully it's funny to the
Oh, I am already planning my
140,000
top 5
unique
moments of the
downloads
year.
of this podcast or whatever.
I've actually been thinking about our top 5 because that's coming soon. We're going to be recording our top 5 in like a month or like 6 weeks. And oh my goodness, I have some from the very beginning of the year that like I have been holding on to. Like they're so good. So.
It's such our personalities and the way we do our lives because it'll be 3 days before that damn episode, and I'm going to be listening to 15 hours or whatever it is of podcast.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you
Nils?
cram. Yeah.
I know. I was like,
No,
and Amy's like, oh, I have them correlated. They're in my Google account.
I do plan them. Yes. So.
I've already sent them to Nils. Have you sent them? Amy, it's in 4 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're just waiting because you think that final podcast,
That little nugget.
right? There'll be something really good on the next podcast.
Right. I want the whole cohort. I want everything. What minimal amount can you do to reduce mortality? So that's what it was looking at. It was a prospective study. It used questionnaires, which, Amy, how good are questionnaires?
Well, they're pretty terrible.
Yeah.
However, people have a very poor memory when it comes to writing stuff down.
Dude, I worked out 12 times last week.
My rate of
We all have a friend
insertion.
like that.
Yeah.
Like, I've been working out so much. And you're like, no, you haven't.
Yeah. You might be at the gym that much, but are you really working?
Yeah, you went to the gym and you said you did muscle strengthening exercises, which involved you picking up the water bottle and like leaving the gym. But yeah, so what was the maximum hours per week
Before the scale started tipping the opposite
before it
direction.
just plateaued and then it didn't offer any more benefit?
10?
So, Nils,
I would say
I wish we could query the users. I wish this was live and we could have the users query. What?
hours, right?
Yeah.
4.
Okay, Nils says 4.
I said 10.
Amy says 10. Amy's way off. That just shows you where her
Well, that also
nutty
I'm like,
brain is.
I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I lift for about.
Okay, 4.
10 hours. If you're not eating, you should be running. So, no, it was 3 hours. So all these people that run for like massive amounts of times, it's not, at least in terms of mortality, making any difference. I think, and especially for normal people, and I consider us normal people.
Thank you. I don't think you've ever said that about me before. That might be the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Normal.
We're semi-normal. I don't know. Partially normal.
Was that Young Frankenstein? Like
Yeah.
Abby someone?
Yeah.
Abby Normal, because I'm going to be talking about 2 studies that were recently released. These are both,
Of course, you had to do 2 studies.
well, because they're both new research on fasting, and rather than like go too deep, they're both, one of them in particular, the one on breast cancer.
Nerdzilla that had the clicky pins in school, right? That all the different colors.
The 4 colors?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah, I did.
You suck.
And not only did I have the one that was black, red, blue, and green, but I also had one that was pink, purple, light blue, and like aqua.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so extra.
Yes, very extra. And it was pink.
It always felt like the green. I was like, God, I want to use the green. Like I want to use it, but nah. Because the black was good, and then the red was like, you really got to know this, and the blue was kind of like to circle things. The green kind of like got overpowered.
I think most people circle things in red or underline them in red.
No, red was always to me like, dude, you better, this is important.
See, mine was more like, oh, you're in trouble. Like red. Red means anger. Reading through this research article, like when you really read through it, I mean, it was, I would say 20 plus pages of what mostly doesn't even feel like you're reading English because it's primarily just acronyms and other things. So
what was that article that I reviewed that was from China? It was like everything was a medical word.
That was the one on that was on the effects of anesthesia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That one was so
really
difficult to read.
Yeah, but at least it was short.
It was short. It was like 10 pages.
Yeah,
the only thing harder that I've ever read was a mortgage. If you've ever read the mortgage papers, it is full of legalese. You cannot, everything's a run-on sentence, and none of it makes any sense. No, there was just a new drug that came out.
There was, but it's specifically for amyloid
plaques.
Amyloid plaques, but that's not the only reason. That
right, but then it was so funny that drug came out, and they said they're in stage 3 or 4 trials, or right? It's like a big deal. But then I had just listened to a podcast. I think it was on Joe Rogan. They had one of the neuroscientists on there, and he said that the plaques really are a lost leader.
Correct.
So I was like,
billions of dollars in research for a drug that is really not treating the main cause.
Well, you don't know that. You haven't looked at the data yet. So.
I have looked at it. I have looked at it.
Yeah.
But like you said,
did you go to their lab and look it over?
Even Joe Rogan is expert is saying like
Joe Rogan the expert.
I said Joe Rogan's expert.
Okay.
Joe Rogan is not the expert, and this is where I didn't want you to talk about this because this is what is so cool about all of this. So what if there was something that you could start doing from a young age?
I'm listening.
Right, that could make your health better.
Yes.
I mean, the fasting mimicking protocol is not easy per se, but it's definitely far easier than not eating for 5 days. And for a lot of people, doing a water only fast for even 3 days is maybe not the safest or healthiest thing to do, but the fasting mimicking protocol is extremely safe as you're going to a healthy person. I highly recommend it. I think that it's something that all of us could use a little hormesis, right? Be a little uncomfortable. Like, give your body a chance. Like, what if doing this now meant that you didn't have dementia? You don't get, like I said with your studies, you don't get to go back.
Nope.
You can't go back and fast for the decades before you got dementia. But what you can do is start fasting now.
Right.
In a smart way. And for most people, that's once a quarter, with the seasons. You fast for 5 days once a quarter. Why not? You can get the fasting mimicking protocol, which is Prolon, from us. Like, reach out to me. We can have it shipped to you. Like, it's 5 days. I can help support you through it.
Oh, I didn't know it comes through us.
We're a distributor.
Oh, nice.
So you can get it through our office.
Everyone should do it. I love our articles. They're actually applicable to your life.
Yeah.
They're not nerdy sciencey in the end. They're about like, hey, let's make our lives better.
Let's at least not make it worse.
Let's not make it worse. Yeah, come on, man. And we pick those out randomly or by ourselves. I mean, so that's good.
Yeah. So
we're improving with our selection process.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like some of our other research has been way more fun. I don't feel like my research this time was very fun.
Yeah, but it's applicable to people's lives. Like someone listening to this would be like, okay, this is helpful.
Go back and listen to my podcast where we talk about selenium and quercetin and apples.
No.
So if you enjoy this podcast, and we really enjoy you, we really are thankful that you stuck with us
berberine and glutathione and fish oil.
Awesome stuff. We love that you listen to this podcast. We weren't talking about plastic surgery, but
oil.
I almost brought you. Oh, I got the Brazilian nuts for Nils. You didn't bring them.
You see how she said Brazilian nuts?
Yeah, I got him some Brazil nuts today. And he was joking about the Brazilian nuts. Right. These Brazilian nuts. Got a whole bag of them.
Brazilian nuts.
Let me share my Brazilian nuts with you.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we went downhill in a hurry. As we often do. See what I mean? So that was a really recent episode. That one came out, in October or November? October?
Yeah.
And we were still talking about the Brazil nuts.
Oh, I know.
So there are.
I told a joke with Nils. We're like fourth graders.
Right.
Yeah.
We like to talk about nuts. Just 2, because 3's weird.
I really liked your impassioned speech about fasting mimicking diets and the fact that you said we sell the Prolon.
We do. Yeah.
So anyone listening, if you want to do a fasting mimicking diet, talk to Amy.
Yeah, you should listen.
Amy at Jason Martin, MD.
Highly recommend listening to our podcast episode about where I talk about fasting. It was my first time doing this fasting mimicking protocol. It was really interesting and it was really fun. And I talk a lot about being cold, which really angered Dr. Martin.
But it was funny that when you immediately went to all your nutritional supplement kind of studies, and the one you forgot is magnesium. Haven't you done one on magnesium before? Or is that just something you always tell me to take?
I think that's just something I always tell you to take.
Okay.
Yeah. But the selenium one, that's what led to the Brazil nuts. That's what led to, you know, 2 years of jokes about Brazilian nuts. Right. Yes. Okay. Before we get into our top 2, we're going to take a quick break from our sponsors. We'll be back. Dr. Martin, I'm super excited to talk about our sponsor for this podcast, Let's Get Checked. If you've been a listener of our podcast, you know that we have never had a sponsor before, and that's because we're an educational podcast. We're not looking to monetize, and we also would never recommend something that we didn't believe in and or use ourselves.
So basically you're saying we're very choosy.
We're very choosy when we come to our testing, but Let's Get Checked really aligns with our values. We talk a lot about monitoring your blood values of certain things. We talked recently about vitamin D serum levels. We talk a lot about hormone levels, and it's hard for some people to get to a lab, or you're afraid of the blood draw, or just, you're concerned about confidentiality. Like you have a lot of concerns and you just don't do it. Let's Get Checked makes it super easy because it's completely confidential. You do it from your home. So there's really no excuse not to do it.
Yeah, and we did it recently. Both Amy and I did it. She looked at her women's health, basically her hormone levels, and I looked at mine on the men's health side with testosterone. It was very simple. You go online. Their online interface is really easy to use and good. We got the testing kit very quickly. And the test itself, actually doing the stick, you do a stick on the end of your finger, is not hard to do. It only took about 3 to 4 minutes. You put it back in a sealed envelope that's confidential, goes back to them. You get your results in 2 to 5 days. It's really that simple. And the best part is it's about empowerment, about you taking control and trying to do things that are positive for your health and life. And this is one way to do it, literally from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, so they offer a wide range of tests. So they do men's and women's hormone panels. They do a full panel of STD testing. They also are now offering a COVID-19 test at home. So there are a lot of other just basic blood levels that you can get tested as well. And one of the things that we always say is you can't track what you don't check. So you might not know what's normal for you in the future if you're not checking it now, especially as it relates to hormones. And men's health specifically, I feel like is a little bit undertreated. I mean, sperm counts are dropping by a large percentage in men these days. Most men struggle at some point in their lifetime with low testosterone.
And those men do not know what the symptoms of low testosterone are. Depression, anxiety, sleep problems, osteopenia or loss of bone, loss of muscle, and something we treat all the time, gynecomastia or male breast growth. These are real problems that can be improved or treated with testosterone. And these men do not know their levels. It's so easy to get checked. And this is why we're so excited about the sponsor.
Yeah. And Let's Get Checked is a completely CLIA certified lab, the CLIA lab. So they're a well-established, completely safe lab to use. You do get contacted after, so you get your results. I got a text at 4:30 in the morning, which I loved, that my results were ready.
And we're both up at 4:30, so that was good.
Super excited. And you have access to not only a nurse, but also a physician. So a physician does review your results, and it gives you a little breakdown of like where you're sitting on those levels. Dr. Martin's had even comparisons of like where 2 of the levels should be in relation to each other, which is a really important thing to note.
Right.
Just being within the normal range is not always enough. So it really gave more information than that. You'd still want to, of course, reach out to your own doctor if you needed some additional assistance with these labs or you did see something that was concerning. We didn't, thankfully, so that was good.
Yeah. We were both good. This podcast is about empowerment. It's educational. In my private practice, I'm a board certified plastic surgeon. We are all about empowerment, and this is one way to do it. So we're very excited about the sponsorship, and we're looking forward to using it for our patients moving forward.
Yeah. So as a listener of our podcast, if you're also a new time user to Let's Get Checked, which a lot of you probably are, we do have a 20% discount code. So you do need to go to our specific URL, and it is linked in the description box below, but it's going to be TryLGC. So TRYLGC, like Let's Get Checked.com/beauty, BEAUTY. And you'll need to use the code BEAUTY20 at checkout. Beauty again is BEAUTY 220. And you can pick a test, like any test you'd like, put in our code and get your test shipped to you. Getting tested is the right thing to do. It's lets you know where you're at and what's responsible.
All right. Well, let's get tested.
Let's get tested. Let's get checked.
Let's get checked.
We're back. And just to keep the good times rolling, Dr. Martin, who does number 2 work for?
Are That's so funny.
You're my number 2.
Yeah, you're my number.
You're
my number.
You're my
two.
number 2.
Yeah.
And I work for you.
Who does number 2 work for?
That's right. You tell that turd who's boss.
Yeah.
All right. So this is where I
get it,
feel
buddy.
like things really start getting good. This is my number 2. So taking, I always caution people, like there are supplements that both Dr. Martin and I take. There are supplements that I recommend to people before surgery. There are supplements that are really good, but relying on a supplement when all else in your lifestyle, maybe you have a great diet, but maybe you're exposed to radiation. Maybe, you have other factors.
Like stress.
Stress is a huge one.
Yeah.
ROS, I think of the principle.
Sleep.
Yeah, also huge.
I feel like this is like summing up all of our podcasts that weren't related to plastic surgery. I mean, everything we're talking about.
It is. And, there's so much is happening to our cells that we don't even understand. But a lot of what's happening to them is coming from external factors, stress, bad diet, exposure to toxic chemicals. I mean, I think, if you live in one of those places where they spray for mosquitoes, I mean, yeah, you're not going to die of West Nile virus, but what are you breathing in? What's being just absorbed through your skin by touching it as I knock my tea over?
EMFs.
My green tea.
EMFs.
Yes, I was going to bring up EMF exposure.
Lead exposure in the groundwater. Yeah. I was reading about that. Like there's like crystallized lead and like, dissolved lead, and just having a filter is not going to get rid of that. You have to have a reverse osmotic filter to get rid of the lead. And no one's going to get that because it's too expensive.
They're expensive, but they're whole house systems. But even if you were drinking water, was reverse osmosis, and then you're standing in the shower and you're getting that lead water all over you, you think your skin is not absorbing that? Absolutely is. So there's a lot of toxic exposure that we are all exposed to on a daily basis. So to think that one supplement could override all of that, or that there was one thing that was appropriate for someone who maybe just had chemotherapy, might have very different needs than someone who, lives on a farm.
Yep.
And is exposed to a ton of pesticides, like very different needs, very different amounts of support. And that's why the one thing you can always stand on above all else that's not going to hurt you is eating a properly prepared, that is key, nutrient-dense whole food diet. That is absolutely never going to lead you wrong.
I love it.
So you interrupted me when I was going to talk about the Princess Bride and the ROSs, the rodents of unusual size. I mean, like that's kind of what free radicals are in your body. Like these radical oxygen species, think of them as those like crazy giant rats in the like fire forest. Like you don't want them. I mean, you need some ROSs, but you don't want a lot.
I love that clip though, because it really represents kind of your philosophy on nutrition and health. Yeah, it really condenses it down. And it's something that I've incorporated in my life. It's made a big difference.
Well, I called it, so when I titled this one to Nils, I think it was titled Amy Rants about fill in the blank. Like there's on NFL Network, they do a segment called like Angry Runs or something, and I kind of feel like those are my Amy rants.
Yeah. I've seen that in the morning.
My Amy rants.
All right, so my next clip is...
Your number 2, you mean?
My number 2.
Your number 2.
Who does number 2 work for?
I work for you.
My next clip is so this podcast, we've been around since how long, Nils?
Since 2015.
All right, so 7 years we've been doing this podcast. We have had 3 people primarily on this podcast, Nils, Amy, and I. We've had a few guests, but we had a new guest this year. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, here's Dr. Martin's number 2. Welcome, everyone, to Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner. I'm joined today, as always, by my very stoic co-host, Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon. Dr. Martin, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Amy.
You're looking very still today.
Well, I have my bobblehead there representing me. I'm at home on my couch.
Oh, there you go.
Now.
I like this dynamic. I do feel a little lonely, though, without you here.
I'm just trying to figure out how we can do this with surgery, if that is possible.
I think we can.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can. I mean, you're very quiet, so it would be a little different.
Yeah, just shake my head a little bit. Just give it. There you go. Okay, perfect.
Shake my head a little bit. This is like you in the OR asked me to push your glasses up.
Yeah.
Shake my head a little bit.
I got movement. I can animate.
Turn me to the side.
Yeah,
Point me down.
I don't like that position. I don't want to show the top
Bring
of my
me closer to the patient.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Dr. Martin, you want to join me?
Yeah, but I got to fix this up so Nils is happy. So it's never easy with that.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to tell everyone if they would like to watch this podcast, if they are listening, which I highly recommend. Yeah.
I totally forgot about the podcast part.
So if you're only listening, you have no idea what we just did, but if you would like to see the skit.
We're so crazy.
You can find us on YouTube.
Crazy people.
Welcome, everyone, to Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I'm joined today, as always, by the very debonair Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon. Dr. Martin, I see you have a mini-me.
Yes, I have a bobblehead that was given to me by one of my patients.
It's fantastic.
maybe the apex of my career, as a plastic surgeon.
See, I knew this was coming, and I managed not to tell anybody in the office, and I didn't know that it was going to be so awesome. Like, I kind of thought it would be like your head, but just on like a generic body.
Right.
But it is literally you from head to toe.
It's me from head to toe.
Yep. Including the pose, like even like down to like the way your shirt collar is open and your pocket square.
I'm feeling like if there's meetings I don't want to go to, I'm going to send my bobblehead.
I think you should start doing this on telehealth appointments.
Yeah.
Just have your bobblehead sitting there.
This is going to be my avatar. So I really want to thank our patient that gave that to us. I love it.
It does make me a little sad that no one's made a bobblehead of me.
Yeah. Maybe that's your Christmas present for me.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like your bobblehead is so awesome, and like it sits on your desk, and every time I see it, I think like, man, that is so awesome.
I know.
This is so cool.
But I do feel like the bobblehead's gotten a little bit too big for his britches. Like we introduced him to our fans.
Bobblehead is getting a little big.
Yeah. Now, like to talk with my bobblehead, I have to go through his representative. Just to get him here costs a large sum of money.
Yeah.
And he has appearance fees. You have a whole booking agent. It's kind of a disaster. So this may be the last time we see the bobblehead.
It might be. He's just too.
I had plans. I literally was gonna sink away at my home and never come out and just have bobblehead do everything for me.
How's that working out?
It's
for
not
you?
working out at all.
Well, he is very stoic.
Yeah.
You know what's funny with that clip is it's always funny to see throughout the course of the year. Like, I mean, you look pretty much the same all the time. You are sometimes a little more tan. You're sometimes a little less tan. Sometimes you have a 5 o'clock shadow. But man, I got my hair up. I got my hair down. I've been hair in a ponytail. I got a flower. I got a bow. That's
what we love about you.
I got more in a lab coat.
You're creative and beautiful, and you do all your different hair stuff.
Right.
All I do is go to Dre, and he does the fade.
Yeah.
I got the Dre fade.
The Dre fade. So those are fun things to see. But yeah, we got a new guest star this year.
Yeah, co-host.
Yeah.
Maybe every once in a while.
A little demanding.
Yeah, a little,
We need to bump the ratings. We'll bring him back.
Okay,
seriously, he's so good.
Yeah.
All right. So
I don't want this to end.
I know.
guess we have Nils's in the end too.
We do. So we've got our number ones, and I will tell you this. So my number one, when I sent it to Nils, I said, this is not only my number one clip of the year. It might be my number one clip of all time. And then I wrote in parentheses, like, is definitely my number one clip of all time. From the moment this happened, I have
no idea what this is, which is so weird. I think you're building it up too much.
No, like this.
Does this involve me? Because I feel like it could be deflating.
Well, I mean, this is a podcast that we are on.
I'm on
yes,
it?
You are on it.
Yeah. Shoot.
By far my favorite. And I feel like this was one of our first 5 episodes of the year. It was way back at the beginning of the year. It was like the 5th. Yeah. It was definitely winter. It definitely, for me, stands out of all time as my top moment of the podcast.
Okay.
All right, here we go. But really, when you look at this picture and you think to yourself, like, this is happening in my body all the time. There are all of these. How many cells, Nils, do you think are in the human body?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, really? You hit me with that?
Mm-hmm.
2 trillion.
Okay, Dr. Martin?
Yeah, damn. I'll just say 1 trillion.
So it's estimated that there are roughly 37.2 trillion cells in the human body. And some estimates have gone up as high as 100, depending on, some factors. But a minimum amount is between 30 and 40 trillion cells, individual cells.
That's insane.
Yeah. And when you think about that, it really becomes mind-boggling because what's going on inside every single cell.
Right. And now you can understand cancer. I wish you wouldn't have told me that.
It's so complex.
Right. Because in my mind, I had 10 cells in there. That's all I got to do is manage those 10.
Those 10.
It's like 10 sheep.
Yeah.
Make sure they're groomed. Make sure everything's okay. I just got this 10.
Got this 10.
They got to graze a little bit.
Yep.
Now you're talking about 32 trillion sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to happen, Amy.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So good.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, this is how you understand cancer. And I'm like, where's he going with this? And I'm like, the 10 sheep. And I posted that on Instagram and I put a couple of sheep in there. Keep them groomed, give them hay or something, the things you say about how you're going to keep your 10 sheep.
To talk about scale in 32 trillion.
Right, not going to happen.
Oh, it just makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Crazy, overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I titled that clip Dr. Martin's Sheep.
Yeah.
And it is by far my favorite.
I've forgotten about that.
I forgot about it too. That's actually that's a very good episode because we talk about autophagy in that episode. We talk about the smooth and rough endoplastic reticulum.
Talk about all the parts of the cell, the mitochondria.
Where protein synthesis occurs.
Your cold drawing.
Yeah, I got a drawing in there. We have mitochondria. I mean, this is like a biology class.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when I start ranting about something. So
Yeah.
that
I
is
love it.
by far my number one. Like
Yeah.
Dr. Burton's sheep will forever go
I'm
down
going to stick
in
with
my
my
mind.
theory that I only have 10 cells.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Keep them fed.
I just work on them every day. My 10.
Yep.
You guys have 32
Give them
trillion.
a little bit of pasture.
Yeah, sorry. I got 10. There's really big cells.
really big sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
I
right,
have a
Dr.
brain
Burton.
cell.
I have a brain
heart
cell.
cell.
So what do you want to tell us about your number one?
Oh yeah, my number one. Okay, that was a really good one actually.
It was my favorite.
The last one is from Facelift Myths, which, to be honest with you, is probably my favorite episode of the year.
It was a really good one.
Yeah, I think the reason why, and I just kind of picked out the things I liked, is because it really encompasses this podcast, because we talk about our knowledge base. We have a lot of expertise in these things. We talk about you as the patient or the listener, hopefully empowering you. And then there's parts in there that are actually really funny. So, and there's some stuff there that Nils added, so it made me happy. It's just like a perfect amalgam of this podcast and what we do on a weekly basis or every other week basis.
All right, here we go. Spooky season.
It is. What day is this?
This is the 15th. And you love Halloween.
Oh, I love Halloween.
Like it's the build up to your time of year.
It's my favorite.
Yes.
Favorite. Well, my kids are getting older now, so it's not as special. But when they were young, it was just so much fun. It would start around September 15th and build up over a 45-day period.
No, I remember the first time I saw your guys' house decorated for Halloween, I was like, oh, like I
How
had
do you think
no
my
idea.
neighbors felt?
Yeah.
And the best part, I mean, I made all the tombstones. I
Oh
have
my gosh,
tombstones.
when you carved the splash face.
I had tombstones of my entire family, which is weird. And then of my dog, who was at the time still alive, and I carved his snout and put it on a
out of
tombstone.
foam. It's so cool. It's foam.
It's
and it's painted.
It's interesting. So you do basically you take the foam that you use for thermal regulation on foundations. That pink foam you see at Home Depot, but the thicker version of that, and then you can use that and actually carve it out, and then you paint it, in this kind of foundation paint that's almost like cement. It's called dry lock, and then on top of that, then I'll spray it, and then I'll actually decoratively say the word. Decoratively paint on top of that, and so it make it look like real stone.
Yeah,
It
awesome.
literally looked
It
like
looks so cool.
It looked like I carved in stone my
Yeah.
dog's face.
Special effect.
Yeah, it was very
It has
cool.
that feeling to
Yes.
it. Yeah.
So this
I
podcast.
have tons of free time.
I know.
At one point, I was doing that on a Saturday night. My wife's like, "You really need to stop."
As you're like buffing down the side of the snout. Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not healthy.
Oh, no, I think that's a great outlet.
Yeah.
Creative. That's neuroplasticity right there. Yeah.
We got it going on. Okay.
Yeah. So this.
So people really care about
Yeah, our very spooky episode here. We're going to be talking about facelift myths. Ooh.
that. I get that now.
Did I make
Okay.
this? Yeah, spooky.
Now I'm feeling it.
Yeah, you feeling the spooky?
We need to have. Well, I don't want to have Nils do any more editing, but like ghosts that come down.
Oh, those could just be like floating.
Yeah.
In and out. Yeah.
You're very scared.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, or I could just like lean closer to the white wall and just blend right in.
Yeah, that's true. I just came
Awesome.
right from the
That's a great
frontal
analogy.
lobe.
You were making.
Medulla oblongata.
I was listening to an older episode of the podcast. I don't know why or even which one, where you were making fun of me about using apparently like a couch analogy very often. Like I don't remember using it, but you were giving me a hard time about always using the couch analogy.
Yeah, we work together so much. I don't know if I made that analogy and then attributed it to you.
Attributed it to me. So the yard came from you. Remember this day,
Yeah.
October 15th. Good analogy on the yard.
And that yard would be filled with all my tombstones of my alive family.
That's right. And your perfectly pruned trees.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they would be perfectly pruned by me.
'Cause
Which,
they
by
have
the way,
been
I've told
maintenance.
this story before. My neighbors come by and like, aren't you like a really successful plastic surgeon? I'm like, yes.
And a botanist.
Why are you doing your own grass? Because that's what I do. Because anyone I hire will not do it the way I want it.
That's right.
So welcome to my house. What's the...
Welcome to my
I was
house.
waiting
Flow
for you to
Rider,
put-
right?
yeah, Flow Rider.
Mhm. I won't look like myself. You have alluded to this many times, Dr. Martin.
I
That
know.
there's a lot of
'cause
weird
I
out
think
there.
I had to use the example of Face Off before, which is this classic movie with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
And they switch faces, but their voices are. Yeah, it's so stupid.
It's so 90s.
so bad.
It's very 90s.
But it's so bad, but so good at the same time. But that's not the way it works. So again, you can do surgery that ultimately makes you not look like yourself, that's really not good surgery.
It's not usually the goal either.
And it's not the goal in offices like ours.
I feel like we should have gone full Mythbusters and you should have worn the weird hat.
Oh, I would love
It
to.
was Jamie who wore the hat, right?
No,
Or
because it was
yeah.
a beret.
Yeah,
right?
it was a beret.
And
Need a big mustache.
you had
Yeah.
a big mustache and you had like glasses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even the beret. Yeah. Next time we bust myths, we'll come better prepared.
And I don't even know who these people are. I feel like I need to thank them for these referrals.
Well, but they're the people who are up in that area where the scar is. You know,
Right.
again, when we talk about normal conversations with person, I mean, I look at Dr. Martin's ear a lot because I sit next to him like this. You know, but for the most time in life, like I'm looking at Nils, I'm not looking at his ears. You know, I'm looking at nothing. So like when you have an incision that goes around and behind your ear, no one's looking at that. Even with your hair pulled back, again, I'm not like looking at the back of somebody's head
kind of
awkwardly.
lurking on me. Yeah, it's weird. Kind of weirds
I
me
do
out.
I do judge your ear a little.
You kind of pick at me like a chimpanzee sometimes.
Yeah, I do. Well, sometimes
You
get
pull
stuff on
hairs
you.
in different areas.
Yep.
I don't like it.
Get stuff on you. I'm keeping you clean.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
If you go into a place, all they do is fillers and Botox, e.g. a dermatologist, they're
Or a
gonna
medical spa.
fill you up with fillers and Botox till you can't take anymore.
They're gonna give you a liquid facelift.
It's like, think about
Yep.
it. When you go to the German beer house, they're giving you big glasses of beer, not because they just think you need it. It's because the more volume of beer, the more you're paying for. You're paying $20 for this. What is this called? A Stein. And they just keep bringing it to you. Okay, that's their business model, and that's the same idea as these places. I do think they have their place. We're very supportive of aesthetic offices.
Well, we do Botox and filler.
And for dermatologists,
Botox.
but understand that you have to have self-awareness when you go into those places, and also a little bit of self-control, because maybe sometimes they're not going to be doing things in your best interest. Honestly, busted.
Yeah, you will care. All right. Dr. Martin, I think that was awesome. Did you like that I actually had 10? You thought
like
I was
that.
going to have an odd number, didn't you? Because it was,
No.
I mean, I thought about it for spooky month.
You should have done
Go
13. Yeah.
I didn't want to jinx us.
All right.
13.
13. There you go.
All right.
Always with the knuckles. I mean, she really does just.
I do. Oh man,
It's like
I got
for
Dr.
whatever bad
I
dates
got
she's
Dr.
had, she always
Lowenstein.
like hits me.
Seriously.
Like I represent the male
Well, it's because I know you can take
cohort
it.
that she dates.
I seriously almost knocked Dr. Lowenstein out one day.
Yeah.
He put up the knuckles and I was like, oh, we on? Like, and
Let's go.
he was not ready for what was coming
Yeah,
at him.
well, he's a little soft, but I
Yeah.
can talk to him about that.
So thank you, everyone. Hopefully we bust the myths that you have about facelifts. And when I say facelift, I mean face, neck lifts, brow lifts, whatever. Facial surgery. Myths busted. You will look like yourself. You're not too
Busted.
young. You're not too old. You're going to not look weird. Your friends aren't going to care. You're going to look amazing. Your judgy sister can throw rocks.
Judgy
Right.
sisters, judgy girlfriends, please.
Yep.
Can we just drop these people? I know you can't drop your sister, but the girlfriend you can.
Your spouse will still love you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the spouse does have an issue with the way you look, then maybe you
Maybe
need
that's
to
a deeper issue.
need to rethink of this relationship.
Yes.
So that was awesome.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, Nils has done some stuff. He put the wizard hat on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Because I turned my head like this, and the wizard head ended up like here.
did it. Yeah, we got the ghost. on
Nils
that
is a
episode.
wizard. Yeah.
I mean, that is the one thing. I mean, we haven't seen Nils' compilation from the year, but I even said this to Dr. Martin. The one thing that really amazed me is watching, a lot of our podcast episodes is what an amazing producer and editor
he's-
Nils is.
yes.
I mean, it is remarkable. Like,
And Sarah slides.
Yes.
I mean, come on, please.
I mean, there is no way that we could do this without them. And also just like Nils dealing with the fact that
Yeah.
like I glow like a disco ball under these lights
Yeah.
and like sometimes look like a dead person.
And if you actually really pay attention to what we do, you've seen the backdrop change
Mm-hmm.
and see the lighting improve and everything we've done. My glasses game has been upgraded
oh yeah,
too.
like some of my
Yeah.
clips from the beginning of the year, you still had your dark glasses.
Yeah.
You got your light glasses now.
So we're really progressing here.
Yes, but
Yeah.
that's all. I mean,
It's all Nils.
Couldn't be
Besides the
without Nils.
glasses. He didn't pick out my glasses.
No, but I am so excited. So Nils, for the last couple of years, did a compilation, which is always so much fun. In fact, maybe one of my favorite compilations you did was just like me saying my intro over and over again, because you listen to it throughout the course of the year, and like, man, you could tell like some days like it was like happier, some days it was a little morose.
Yeah.
Like you feel like the flow of the podcast that way. So I'm
Well,
excited.
there are a couple of repeats because they're my favorite things. But they're shortened a little bit too. So
Yeah.
you're like, yeah. So when you see something that we've already seen, it's because it was my absolute
No, I love
favorite.
it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping it's Dr. Martin Sheep because I'll watch that
Yeah,
again. All right. So without further ado, we're going to watch the mashup. I even love that it says the mashup because I think I like Monster
Nils'
Mash.
mashup.
Yep, the producer Nils 2022 mashup. I am so excited. Here we go.
Here we go.
In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everyone to Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. Ooh, way to sit up straight, Dr. Martin.
Just kind of.
Yeah.
You got to expand the chest out, Amy.
I'm Amy. I'm a board certified
When did you go to plastic surgery school?
Apparently in the last 20 minutes.
I love it. You're board certified in nutrition and plastic surgery.
Board certified plastic surgeon.
Oh, that's definitely going on the end of the year. I love it.
The compilation of intros. That's the first time I've ever messed up. I'm joined today, as always, by the fabulous Dr. Martin.
Very fabulous.
And I'm joined today, as always, by the very spooky Dr. Jason Martin. I'm joined today, as always, by Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified plastic reconstructive surgeon.
I don't know if you've heard this before, but I'm very board certified.
You are.
Yeah.
And yes. And I'm joined today, as always, by the iridescent Dr. Jason Martin. He felt like he wanted to be very bright today, so Nils has him super bright.
I want to be as bright as possible.
You want to be bright. As always, by the loquacious,
very talkative.
Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified plastic reconstructive surgeon. You are. You're very loquacious.
Why do I have a pair of scissors in my sleeve?
Well, we'll get to that. Dr. Martin, how you doing?
She's an NTP. That's what she
I
is.
am nutritional therapy practitioner.
Yeah, it used to be an NTC.
Counselor.
And now we're P's.
No, C to P.
C to P?
That could sound real bad. We're going to move on from that in a hurry. Welcome, everyone, to Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. Ooh, head bobbing. We're going to be literally this is what I'm seeing out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah. That's how I'm feeling today.
That's how you're bobbing. I like it. Head bobbing. I'm joined today, as always, by the very debonair Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon. Dr. Martin, I see you have a mini-me.
Yes, I have a bobblehead that was given to me by one of my patients.
It's fantastic. Joined today, as always, by Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon, and he was just about to do a deep growl into the mic.
Well, so I lower my voice before the podcast to really get that deep Howard Stern.
You were just trying to throw me off my game.
Voice.
I'm joined today, as always, by the very crisp Dr. Martin.
I got very clean glasses.
Board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon.
Board-certified, and I can see.
I can see your eyes.
Yeah.
A lot of times you turn to look at me and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like looking through a swamp. And I'm joined today, as always, by the very animated and very real Dr. Jason Martin.
I'm here.
And I'm joined today, as always, by the dashing Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon. Dr. Martin, how you doing?
I know something feels different.
Something is different. And if you're not watching us, you wouldn't know what that is. But if you are watching, you know that we have a beautiful new backdrop.
We have a new backdrop.
I'm joined today, as always, by the stoic Dr. Jason Martin.
Very stoic.
He's board-certified plastic reconstructive surgeon. That's just the word that came to my mouth when you were sitting there looking all you're like a statue. You can hold it.
Chiseled.
Yep, you can.
Michael.
Yes, like Michelangelo's David. Yes.
Or David. I'm sorry. I was
yes. I know what you're getting at. I'm joined today, as always, by the very fastidious Dr. Martin. He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon.
Yep.
Dr. Martin, how you doing?
Good. I didn't shave today, Amy.
I noticed. Rocking that 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, very rough.
Yeah,
I feel like I need to chop down some trees, Yeah.
I'm joined today, as always, by the...
There's so many words you could use. Just
debonair. Dr. Jason Martin.
What was the word you used that I really liked? It was something about dressing really nice. Not exquisite. What was it, Nils?
Dapper. Resplendent. Welcome, everyone, to Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I'm joined today, as always, by Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon.
And I'm a man.
Yes, you are. That matters. They don't know the title of this episode yet, so that might not make sense. You're just reaffirming yourself as a man. Remember?
It's kind of like a party. Those parties you've been to that go too late? You kind of get that feeling.
Right, you get the stragglers left.
Where the poop hits the fan at the end of the night, That's kind of like what happens over life with your cells.
Right. I think when they say that our bodies aren't self-healing, they absolutely are.
Yeah, we're like Wolverine.
We are. It just is slower than Wolverine. And eventually it slows Wolverine, down all the way, but that's why we die. Slow-verine. That's aging. It's slow-verining. The screen, then you should not use a retinol.
So if you're watching the YouTube channel, my face is all red right now because I'm using a retinol and I didn't put sunscreen on yesterday. And it was 80 degrees.
I just got you.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Every day.
It's just that kind of sense of citrusy.
Mm-hmm. Well, the sunscreen smells like that too.
It does?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, it does. You should know that. Yes, it does.
Okay, Mom.
I got you 2 sunscreens so that you would never be without one.
Yeah. Remember we talked about surgery is this controlled trauma. That's all it is.
Yeah,
the body doesn't know any difference. The body doesn't know if you've been cut by a samurai sword or you've had a tummy tuck. You know, it's all the same to it.
If you've been cut by a samurai sword across the midline.
Was that a bad example? So, I mean, just one is done a little more expertly than the other. I don't know, man. If you're a ninja, maybe you could cut it perfectly right along the tummy tuck line.
I really hope that Nils post-produces a wizard hat on you.
Like that? Yeah.
So you can sum it up your implant size.
I don't know. That's a lot of work for Nils. So you don't have to do it, Nils. It's okay. Amy is now opening the box for all the listeners. Looks like a shoebox.
It does look like a shoebox.
Whoa, yes. We got hooked up. Hello.
That's what you want. Like your body replicating exactly the same all the time is going to keep you younger longer. To keep you being a Sloverine for a longer time.
Yeah, Sloverine.
Yes. You got to Sloverine it.
Someone said that I had a strong Doctor Strange vibe.
Yeah, someone did say that. That's right.
That got all up in my feels.
Give it up.
It's like, I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Oh, it is.
Well, because his characters are always so acerbic and difficult.
Well, but you do give off the Doctor Strange vibes. Like you've got that look.
All right.
Yeah.
With my little puppy Yeti, he helps my stress until today. He made me stress because he took a whole roll of toilet paper and started eating it. And he started eating it. And he looked at me like, why are you mad? Like, what do you think?
He was probably looking at you more like, you want to get in on this?
Yeah. You want a little bite of this
like, hey man, look what I found.
Paper?
Yeah. Guarding within the first, few months. What am I saying? Hypertrophic wrong?
No.
You just had a weird grin on your face like you were going to make fun of what I was saying.
Your pronunciations cracked me up. I mean, like it's almost like the kryptonite for Superman. When it comes to pronunciation, you get weird stuff coming in. Like homeostasis.
Weird. Tell me how to say toilet.
No one in America. See, that's rude.
In our first episode on breast reduction, you didn't think that people would know what an anchor was because you didn't think boats used them anymore. I made the see, Nils remembers. Yeah.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did. You said that no one would know what an anchor is because no one uses
can we just edit
anymore?
out my comments? And I don't think that people really know what anchors are anymore.
I feel like
they don't have anchors shaped like that anyways.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Have you been to like a naval port recently and seen big ships?
Yeah, Amy, I've been hanging out at naval ports ever since COVID happened.
Right? Hanging out down on the docks. Yeah. Anchors still exist.
You guys wouldn't mind if I went on that aircraft carrier real quick, would you?
They do look.
I'm a plastic surgeon, board certified.
They do look like an anchor still. I mean, boats still have to be stopped in the ocean. It's not like magic.
Oh my God. You're like, oh, you got a little hair there on your right upper ear. And I was like, thanks.
That's just.
I don't look at you like that.
That is like because that's the only thing I can pick on.
Yeah. Okay.
There's so much perfection.
I know how this works. I know what you're doing right now. I'm married. I know how this goes. I've done that before.
I mean,
you're so beautiful. I would never tell you how good you look in those pants.
Like,
you're so eloquent when you speak. And you pick words so well. And also, you're so knowledgeable. Like, I actually enjoy listening to you.
Oh, thank you.
On this topic. And I'm a board-certified plastic surgeon.
Yes, you are.
What do we call me? Debonair? I have a bobblehead.
That's because you're going to still have restrictions on things like swimming, which, despite what Dr. Martin thinks, people love to swim.
Oh, my God.
Or scuba dive or whatever. So
you just take every chance you get to talk about swimming. In this dumb podcast.
People ask me about swimming on a daily basis.
It's like...
Yeah. Exercise, we want
you up. I'm so annoyed with you right now.
And walking right away, but intense exercise.
This podcast experience would be perfect if you would stop talking about swimming.
Patients ask me. You've been there when they've asked me.
I have never heard a patient ask about swimming, ever.
The patient we did pre-op on today, when we did her pre-op on the video, remember she's going to Mexico in 3 weeks and wanted to know if she could wakeboard.
Okay. Besides that one.
Yep.
And today.
And when we were
having something that literally just happened 2 hours ago. Right. I feel like that you played that Eminem song. My breasts are back.
Oh, like Shady's back.
Yeah.
Breasts are back again.
My breasts are back.
Macromastia. Tell a friend.
Yeah, and so
we just lost all our listeners.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We got the core audience.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So good.
That was amazing.
I'm always worried that Nils, because the mic is hot sometimes when I say really stupid
things.
No,
he protected us a little bit. Yeah.
I didn't put your spill in either.
I thought for sure the spill was coming in.
It's not very good for audio.
Right. Oh my gosh. So I went to grab, there was the clip where I kind of almost hit it, but I saved it. But there was a day, oh my goodness, I knocked it over. And like we all jump up and like, oh my gosh, and the computer's being moved, and
the biggest laugh I got out of that was the naval port comment when I
hanging out on the docks. Are you? Yeah. Yep.
Hey guys, I'm a plastic surgeon. Can't work right now. COVID
show me
shut
your
us
anchor?
down.
Yeah.
Can I see what kind of anchors you guys have?
Right? Like, where do you store your anchor? A very interesting story started that way.
Security, please. There's a strange man asked to look at anchors. Oh, that was so good.
Oh,
Thank
it
you.
does
Nils.
yeah.
It was fun. It was, and I took notes this year, so it wasn't as much work because when I'd find a funny thing, I'd just put a little tag in my notes. And
I'm going to do that next year.
And then instead of doing longer sections, I was like, I'll just do little snippets. So, and I had way more than I thought when I was like, oh.
I think I've kept a lot of like. There's been a lot of
10
stuff.
minutes worth of clips. I thought I didn't have enough.
Oh, but it's so much fun, and it is really fun to go back through the episodes we've done because they're relevant. I mean, we're not talking about like pop culture. We're talking about surgery and the tenets of surgery, and all those things are very relevant.
Yeah.
We redo episodes just to kind of keep them going and to provide more information. But, our first episode about brachioplasty is just as good as our second episode.
Exactly.
I mean, the information is there.
I mean, the only difference now, the production value is better. The backdrop's better. My glasses are better. We have comment on Amy's hair game throughout the year. You could do a drinking game to that. Is it up or is it down? Is there a flower?
Yeah. Like,
what color is the flower? Is it pink? Is it white?
Like it's rare though that you get to see yourself. I mean, like, you look at yourself in the mirror, but when I see my hair down, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot of hair out of this tiny bun. Like there's a lot up there. So
no, but the reason we started this podcast a long time ago, 7 years ago,
was because of Nils.
Nils thought that we had a voice that people would want to hear. And it's really, come to fruition. You've seen the results of that now. We've seen the engagement. People are really interested in these episodes and what we're providing to them. We get comments every day from people who want answers and who appreciate our answers and who are going to have surgery or have had surgery or wondering about this or wondering about that. So that just fills all of our cups up so much, especially after the years we've gone through recently. So to have the family and kind of listeners and all the stuff we're doing. I mean, if you haven't figured out by now that all three of us really enjoy being together. So if this was not going out to the internets, to the World Wide Web, we'd probably still do it.
Yeah.
And I would watch it.
When are we podcasting next? Yeah, we're the only people on the stream.
Right. But it's a true gift. And actually, ultimately, the listeners and the watchers are gifts too. So we're going to keep on doing it. I feel like finally we've gotten to a point that I can actually listen to it all the way through and not get bored. Which is my litmus.
Oh, or episodes that like literally make me laugh out loud.
Right.
I mean, like, and it is almost like you come to like disassociate yourself with it at some level. Like I'm listening to it and just really engaged. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so funny. I'm like, I said that?
Right.
That was so funny. So.
I do think it's funny because I do the best of like 3 days beforehand. I absolutely did that. And this was like the first time that I actually didn't want to stop listening to the episode. Do you know that you have that feeling of pressure you want to get through? And there was so
only
many
if you
episodes.
cram.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Always with the comments. We're supposed to be a team.
We are a team.
Right? We complement each other well. We're like puzzle pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like this is like the first time where I was like even the episodes that maybe are a little more obscure or not as, the numbers there's not as much engagement. Some of those episodes were excellent. This year. So
and we got like somebody sent us something. We got Element and they sent us a big box of Element.
Yeah.
Like that was the first for our podcast too. Like,
yeah, that was awesome.
We've never anybody sent it.
Which by the way, I'm still.
They don't want us to be a sponsor, but
that's okay.
Yeah.
No, that's all right.
Right? Like.
We'll take the free
that's all right. Yeah. That's all right. Keep sending us stuff. That's okay. Bobbleheads. Yeah. Nutritional supplements.
We do love Element. Buy some Prolon.
But next year, hopefully, we'll kind of keep building off of what we're doing so far. And, one of my favorite things, I've been thinking a lot about this lately, is the interactive parts. We did this for everyone listening and watching. And I definitely want to keep emphasizing that interaction.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's
the
what makes
questions
this
from
podcast.
Listeners' episodes are some of my favorites. I had to limit myself because I was pulling so many clips from those episodes because they were so good.
Right.
Because it's fun to, and if you don't think you want to listen to those episodes because it may not be talking about anything you want to hear about, I would still recommend listening to them because there are some gems.
Oh, amazing.
In those episodes. Like they're really good. Yes. From all over the world. We have blah, blah,
We're
blah
global.
from Sweden. Yeah.
We're global. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes. Well, Dr. Martin, it is almost 2023.
Yes.
I think back to the last episode we did of 2019 where I talked about how much I loved even years and how I thought 2020 was going to be amazing. I think about that a lot because I really went on and on about
that was like
how
my previous desire to be an expert in cryptocurrency.
Right, like how I was like,
it did not work out.
I think 2020 is going to be great. I love even years. Like I think it's going to be awesome. So we're going into 2023. Don't love odd years, but I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to stay positive. Nils?
Yeah.
Let's go for it. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So I think we have to give
we
a cheers.
got to cheers it out.
Cheers to you.
To you.
Cheers to you,
Cheers
Nils.
to Nils.
There you go. Oh, we got a drink. I'm sorry.
But thank you everyone so much for listening.
Oh, who put vodka in this?
All right. Oh my gosh, that would be so much more fun. Next year we're getting champagne.
I don't even drink.
So here are our social media handles. Please leave us a like, a comment, a rating, a review. And this is maybe something that I should say. Subscribe. It's free. Please. You don't actually have to pay anything. If you never watch another episode again and you just enjoyed this one and you subscribe and you never watch another video, fair enough.
But, like those 3 people are zany.
Right.
Subscribe.
Yeah. Also, you can leave us a voicemail, 303-630-9038. Nils did tell me one episode this year that I said a number that was not this number. And I still in my mind, I think, look, what did I say? Would I say my social security number?
What if it was some random business?
I think it was my bank account number. Honestly, thinking back at it, I'm like, what else do I have that is like 10 digits like this? I'm like, it's probably my bank account number.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Either way, 303-630-9038. You can leave us a voicemail. You can send us a text. You can be featured on next year's listener questions episodes. We really appreciate it so much. Seriously, Nils, like we could not do this without you.
Thank you, Nils.
Thanks, guys. Like, so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're the best producer in the world.
2023.
Stop with the hitting. You're hurting me.
See you next year, everyone.
See you later.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Let's Get Checked. Let's Get Checked offers fast, affordable, and completely confidential health testing for everything from STDs, male and female hormones, and even COVID-19, right from the comfort of your own home. And remember, new customers and listeners of our podcast get 20% off by using our URL, trylgc.com/beauty, and be sure to use the code BEAUTY20 at checkout. That's trylgc.com/beauty and use the code BEAUTY20, beauty, BEATUY 20 at checkout. Get checked. It's the right thing to do.